Floyd Shivambu, bafethu. So Floyd Shivambu finally responded to Dudu Zuma, the daughter of President Jacob Zuma. And he's saying, according to him, it doesn't get offended easily, and as a leader in the revolution of black people, black emancipation struggle, he's gonna take it to the chin because that's what leaders do. And he referenced President Jacob Zuma like MK party people always do. And you're gonna hear him. Everywhere they speak, they have to include President Jacob Zuma. But he responded to Dudu Zuma. Many people are showing you different clips of his response, but I'm going to show you a different clip where he was speaking face to face with a SABC journalist, what he had to say about Dudu Zuma. And I also like something he said about this whole thing about VAT and other things. But listen to this, guys, because it's very interesting.
The elephant in the room, the issue of Dudu Zuma Sambutla, was also a member of MK Party. Those slurs that she, hurled at you, she's since apologized, but we do understand that there's a disciplinary process that is now underway. And of course, as MK Party, your DSG had reiterated that because she is, President Jacob Zuma, former President Jacob Zuma's daughter, she won't be favored, for lack of better words. But I mean, she needs to go and she needs to actually toe the line in terms of the MK Party constitution.
I think you could have noticed that I did not respond to all issues that relate to our member of MK, Dudu Zuma, because it involves me. I don't want to contaminate the process. The DSG is the correct person to answer all those questions. But also, fairly, you also spoke and you said you hold no grudges against anybody. So like that is as far as I can go. I think that I have stated that myself as a person, it doesn't matter who insults me, who says what about me. I don't really get to be offended by anything because I know that leadership responsibilities come with such. There are so many people who say all sorts of things about us every day, everywhere. And this is what I said earlier, that we learn from President Jacob Zuma, that there are so many things that are said about him, but he remains focused, he retains the composure, he knows what he's doing in terms of the work of the organization, in terms of guiding everyone, in terms of calling for the unification of all the progressive forces. So that is what defines all of us now, that if we're going to be easily offended, we're not going to be able to run an organization which otherwise is having and will have some teething problems. For a new organization where you are now combining cultures and different traditions from different organizations, but also where you have to subdue individual interest and aspirations to organizational and collective interest, you'll always have instances where people are agitated and they want to say one thing or another in a different way. But as leadership, we have to retain the composure, the proper temperament to manage all these tumultuous moments. It's an issue that will pass. We know how organizations are founded, and we will be able to handle this wave in Mkhonto season with utmost excellence, in a manner that is with military precision, that will then demonstrate that this indeed is a formidable organization that is going to unite and liberate our people in totality.
Briefly, before I hand back to Nati, just in 30 seconds, you also mentioned the issue of cabinets, that emergency meeting that is taking place today on the budget, your expectations, your proposals, like you spoke about earlier on.
Look, the manner in which the revenue shortfalls have to be dealt with now in South Africa is primarily on three bases. One is that the manner in which we finance infrastructure development in South Africa has to fundamentally change. We need to pursue the build, operate, transfer model. There are so many interested parties from other parts of the world. Our friends in BRICS are willing to assist in the infrastructure programs, which we do not need to spend direct money on as a state. So if we do not do that, we can then be able to shift the resources to the basic needs that are needed. That is one. But two, there has to be a decisive action on dealing with tax base erosion, transfer pricing and illicit financial flows, because that phenomena continues to define South Africa's industry, and that has to be combated. It needs a decisive legislation, but also a decisive revenue collector which will not tiptoe around these multinational corporations, particularly in the resources sector, which continue to avoid taxes here in South Africa.
So you heard Mr. Floyd Shivambu. That's what he had to say responding to Dudu Zuma, the daughter of President Jacob Zuma. So what can we say? He's saying he's not offended by it. And yeah, I get it, man. That's what you're gonna say to the media. I mean, you have to save the face of MK Party. You have to defend the dignity of the MK Party. Like you say, you are the leader in the revolution of black emancipation struggle. So of course, you have to put it to the chin, take it to the chin. You know, you have been giving it to other people, so now they're giving it to you, so you have to take it. Maybe yeah, you were born for taking it, Mr. Floyd Shivambu. But we know, he's saying this is the responsibility of the disciplinary team. But we listen to the disciplinary team, the leader, the head of the disciplinary, Mr. Talimpofu. They were asked him this question. He said he didn't get anything about the Dudu Zuma's case. And Floyd Shivambu is saying it's not on his place, it's not on his plate to talk about this because it's about him. And this is the responsibility of the disciplinary team. But the disciplinary team is saying that they didn't get any case about disciplining Dudu Zuma. I played a clip a few days ago and Mr. Talimpofu explaining and exposing that Dudu Zuma is going to be untouchable after all. Let's be honest. Who's going to touch Dudu Zuma? The daughter of President Jacob Zuma, because she insulted Floyd. Let's be honest, guys. There's no case against her in the MK Party. They're just now trying to speak and overspeak and protect the dignity, because what has been done by Dudu Zuma, it was kind of shameful. And I don't wish that on any organization. I don't wish that even on the EFF, my own organization, even on Patriotic Alliance. I don't wish that even on the ANC, whereby you see leaders on top level position insulting each other with vulgar language like that. But they are dealing with it professionally. This is the professionalism of dealing with this, because after all, these are politicians you are dealing with here. There's PR teams involved, you know. After all, what did you expect? You expected him to insult Dudu back. He's not gonna do that. He's gonna try to reference that President Jacob Zuma. President Jacob Zuma. He was misled. As you know, I just thought about something, because I was actually listening to the press conference. I was listening to it because I was interested on several things that they were going to ask him, the people of the media. And they did ask him 3 of the questions I was interested in listening to his response, Floyd Shivambu, or just the MK Party as a whole. And I want to make a special video about something separate, the conversation that was making rounds online on social media about the allegations that President Thabo Mbeki threw against President Jacob Zuma, that President Jacob Zuma, back then, he was a sellout. Like, I want to make a separate video on that. But on this issue, you heard Mr. Floyd is not insulted, guys. It doesn't feel threatened by Dudu Zuma, and it's going to deal with this like a leader, because he's the leader. It is what it is. Thank you very much.